CTV's Jeremie Charron is standing by with the latest on the wildfire picture across the country. And Jeremie, thanks very much for joining us. It's getting a little more dire now, isn't it?
Absolutely, Roger. You just touched on it. This kind of heat wave that BC is dealing with, along with dry conditions, coupled with earlier this week on Tuesday, a cold front that moved through the province, bringing a lot of lightning, has brought kind of this increased and accelerated wildfire situation in the province. You talked about the 150 number. There are currently 150 out-of-control wildfires in the province that firefighters are dealing with. That number is up from 100 just earlier this week. So that's a massive increase in a short amount of time. And you just referenced and heard from provincial officials that are talking about a concern in terms of potential for a drastically accelerated situation to continue, like we've seen already this week, go from 100 to 150 wildfires in the province. So that's why we're seeing the officials in BC call for outside help. We saw last year crews from across the world come and help BC deal with their most destructive wildfire season to date. And so they're looking to avoid the same situation this year, trying to get ahead of things. You mentioned the fact that about 500 firefighters are out and have been deployed right now. That's about a quarter of the province's 2,000 firefighters that they have available. But they're seeking outside help for more specialized workers, people that can come and help with prevention as they continue to deal with these hot temperatures, these dry temperatures, and try to avoid continuing to see this escalation that they have seen in BC so far this week. And we're seeing a bit of a similar situation, Roger, in Alberta, about 100 wildfires, out-of-control wildfires in Alberta. And really, it's the weather that has made the difference there as well. A similar cold front earlier in the week bringing some lightning. Now that drier, warmer temperature that is been difficult there as well. So in Alberta, they're dealing with a very similar situation.
Now, you talked about prevention. What are some of the steps they can do to minimize that?
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen in BC is, some new technology and some new material that they've brought in, trying to use massive hoses to control the direction of these fires. Wildfire season, we're not so familiar with it in this part of the country, in Ontario, at least in this part of Ontario. But in Western Canada, wildfire season is normal. It is expected to see these wildfires, and we've seen a lot of it over the next few years. So it's all about trying to control the path, control the burns, and avoid seeing damage in towns and avoid seeing these fires get closer and closer to civilization. Wildfires burning in rural parts of the province, in wooded areas, again, is quite normal. And as long as it is controlled and they don't see, winds and weather conditions push the fires closer to where people are living, that's the big concern. So they're using all kinds of different equipment to do so, requesting in BC these specialized workers to come help with prevention. And we'll be hearing today a briefing from federal officials here in Ottawa on the wildfire situation, and perhaps learn a little bit more about what the federal government is trying to do to help these provinces and provide the support that is needed. So that briefing at 10:30 today should give us a little bit more information in terms of what kind of support the federal government is giving the various provinces that are dealing with wildfires right now.
Okay, Jeremie, thank you for that update.
Anytime, Roger.
CTV's Jeremie Charron.